on a power trip, she got me where she want a nigga. Wifing in the club, man, my homies gon' disown a nigga. Like, give me $20, ass stupid, how you get to college? I'm in your city and I'm wondering if you're home now. Went and found a man, but I'm hoping you alone now. Can't help but feeling like I dropped the ball, cliche. I used to pop up on you at the mall each day. Now typically I kick game like East Bay, but you got a nigga freeze frame yelling please play. For Pete's sake, homie, pull it together. Just fuck up one time and be through it forever. But
would you believe me if I said I'm in love? Baby, I want you, want me. Would you believe me if I said I'm in love? Baby, I want you, yeah.
and we are got me up all night. And we are all singing this love song. And we are got me up all night. And we are got me up all night. All I'm singing is love song. She got me up all night. Constant drinking and love song. She got me up all night. Down and out with these love songs. She got me up all night. Drowning out with these love songs. She got me up all night. Yeah. All I'm singing is love songs. She got me up all night. Yeah. Constant drinking and love songs. She got me up all night. Yeah. Down and out with these love songs. She got me open all night. Got me open all night. Hey.
I've asked about you and they told me things, but my mind didn't change and I still feel the same. What's a life with no fun?
don't lose it. More than love it, cause it's cool as a breeze. So pick a poison, yeah, I got what you need. Nonchalant, got the green on rotation all night. We gon' keep it psychedelic like a cap and a stem, catch a wave on us. Take a shot, make a friend, just enjoy the moment. I'm Luke Skywalking on these haters. Celebrate every day like a birthday. Things come to those that wait up. But don't wait to jump in too long. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Wildin' on my haters. In my 23s having a Jordan moment. Wildin' with the paper. Ice all on my chain, I just popped two up, you staying up. Hanging with the gang, that shit dangerous. I can't fuck you with my chain, you should take a look. Yeah, come and catch a wave, take one out my cup. Yeah, damn the OD, yeah, damn the police. Wildin' in SV, yeah, moving up your street. Yeah, when we on the creek, can't be sand to the beach. Ain't no day, ain't no night, make no plans, ain't no sleep. Cap and a stem, catch a wave on us. Take a shot, make a friend, just enjoy the moment. I'm Luke Skywalking on these haters. Celebrate every day like a birthday. Things come to those that wait up. But don't wait to jump in too long. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. I was losing, but I'm better now. All gains I've been wrapping up. Dead the bull like a matador. Right now I'm higher up than Canada. Cap and a stem, catch a wave on us. Take a shot, make a friend, just enjoy the moment. I'm Luke Skywalking on these haters. Celebrate every day like a birthday. Things come to those that wait up. But don't wait to jump in too long. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Ooh.
Lights on, I see your face. She eat me up, she got expensive taste. I see you dreaming, but you still awake. Big slices, that's how you cut the cake. It's cold as hell, I show and tell. We's at home, I nigga out of jail. In this give or take world, I got what it takes. Put you out your misery, Candy Banks. I'm young money, I'm cash money. If we could buy time, I spend my last money. Now I'm spending time, you in the blind. This little light of mine, I'ma let it shine. Bright lights, night lights, headlights. No lights but them infrared lights. Yeah, long life, don't like to ask twice. You're killing me, baby, this the past life. Okay, now ready, set, go, 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 go till you can't go no more. I'm ill times ill, dope plus dope. West side bitch, quote unquote. Whoa there, boy, don't go there, ho. If you cross that line, I might overload. I swear these lights be talking to me, but I can't read Morse code. Why every rapper name Big got body, huh? But every rapper name Sean got money, ooh. Well, I guess my chances are 50-50, but my vision is 20/20, so I'll be counting 100 hundreds. Like, Lordy, 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 I took your chick, now you want beef, and I'm just chuckling like I'm Porky, cause you spent all day with her spooning, I spent all night with her forking. There's a one-way ticket to hell, and they want these bullets to book it for me, man. I'm shitting on every statistic that said I'd be dead or fucking broke. This is history. Your kiss gon' book report me, what? And I think they wanna murder me. I'm shining hard, cause bitch, I'm an emergency. 2 million since last Wednesday, and I hate y'all. Y'all got too much free time. Saying I ain't drop shit, everything will be fine. Worrying about your old girl, trying to see if she's mine. Nigga, she's with me when she tells you she needs some me time. It's our time, so fuck y'all. I'm really about to go spring break now, start taking shots in this motherfucker. And you ain't really have all that ass last month, girl, but you got some shots in this motherfucker. Yeah, we got the rock in this motherfucker. You thought niggas was going pop in this motherfucker. Young money, power, respect in this bitch. You would think we got the locks in this motherfucker. I made mistakes, I made some bread.
Hey, bro, what's going on, Mike? What's going on, my dude? How's thing going, my dude? Did you change your name on YouTube? Baby. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Woke up more, get more rest. Not to change. Unlucky. I wish I can get some sleep. I didn't get no sleep all night. I just decided to stream because we have work to do today. I gotta get a little bit of this finished, and then at 12 o'clock we have to play a game. And we're not playing Fortnite, and we're not playing the fighting game. We have to play Blue Protocol. I think it's an MMO game. Yeah, another one from TikTok. They want me to play a game. Sadly, I didn't make money from the last one because I didn't hit the scoreboard high enough, so I want to see what it's going to be like playing this game, so I want to give it a try and be part of the next sponsorship. So they want me to see how I do on this. I want to see how it goes because I kind of wanted to play it for a while. I knew about the game, but I didn't know it was going to be like under a TikTok rule. So that was kind of new to me. What's with that face? You might actually like the game because like it's a multiplayer game and it's like it's a fantasy multiplayer anime game. But I doubt you'll be able to run it on your computer. I'm not sure. No, really. No reason, really. Okay, gotcha, bro. But like, yeah, I think you could probably play it on your phone, on your computer. But I'm not sure. I have a good PC. I was talking about Mike, not you. My mod. Yeah, mine's too. Actually, I should add some new water in it. I think of it now. I haven't done that in a good while. I get so lazy opening it though. I know how to do it now, but like it's just a pain in the ass to do it. I just get super lazy to do it. But I feel like it's not necessary, because the computer's running fine. That's So why open it? But I'm like, it's just me being lazy. He says I think are so strange. No fussing, no name. Going around this time, going around this time. Fussing, no names. Going around this time, going around this time. He said, why do I need to change the oil in my car? It seems to be running fine. Hey, don't say it like that. I should have built a liquid drainage system so I can just drain it. Yeah, that's what, you know what? I wanted to do that, but I wanted to like add that to my computer because mine was pre-built. Like it was pre-built based on customizations online. Because it was way too it's now expensive to like build your own computer. Back then it was a lot cheaper. But now, think about it now, I should have got a drainage if there was a way I could have added that in there now. I feel stupid not putting that in there now. I'm regretting that. I think they gave that option, if I remember right. Hey Dave, what's going on? I should have built the liquid green system. Okay, I read about that. Okay. What's going on, David? How's life going, my dude? I hope things going well for you. I ate triple cheeseburger. What? You can't be out here having triple cheeseburgers for breakfast. That's the most American thing I want to do. What the hell? I'm doing well. Just trying to finish this up. So by the time it's 12 o'clock, we'll play some video games. Like that's too American. Can't be out here having double cheeseburgers. You can do whatever you want. Why does that sound more like a slogan? I ate half a burger. What? What is that? I would kind of want some now. Fucking hungry as fuck. I want some now. Only social norms are stopping you. It's the tallest building. I ate half of the... Okay, that's the tallest building. Only social norms are stopping you. Socially broke. Yeesh. Okay, let's see here. Now we have the... Wait. Okay, put this here. Front bump. Front bumper. Wait, hold on. Front top bump. There you go. Hold on, guys, 1 second. There we go. There we go. Clean that down. Okay, that's cleaned up. Get the color, come over here, and then we throw that color in there. And then we put that color in the back. Trying to fish? You can't just be out here debating. What? Trying to fish. There we go. I'm just saying anything now. Okay, there you go. I think that's everything, but I think, okay, so get this color, and then what we'll do, I think I'm supposed to do a thing like, okay, stay within the confines of there. Okay, hold on. Give 1 second. Back color. Back color. Fill gap, I'll say fill gap. Back fill gap. Gap. Hold on. Labeling right now. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm labeling. There we go. I'm not paying attention. Okay. It seems filtered, but I forgot the fridge. I met a man who was home impaired. I think that means homeless. What are you drawing? I am doing a VTubing model. I am making a VTubing model for adoption. Auction. That's weird. Hold on. I think right here. He told me how he did it. Should I try it? I don't know. I think impaired means homeless, right? Okay. Go on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just. Oh shit. Wait, is this side hair? What? What the hell? No! Oh my god. Don't say personal. Hold on, guys. I put on front top. So sweet. Side. Okay, there we go. I think that's everything. Alright. Good job. Good job. Alright. Huh? So I just say cat. What type of music do you listening to when drawing? You don't hear it now? You can't hear it? She reminds me of a girl from the what? Oh, it's talking about Euphoria, the show. I'm looking back on that show, it wasn't all that, amazing. Thinking back at it now. Wait. No, I'm not gonna get into that. I just realized what you meant by that. The anime with the guy. Oh, the girlfriend. Okay, the guy. Okay, betrayed in the dungeon. Wait, what? Oh, is that the dude who's like a super edgelord with white hair? Yeah, he's that edgelord character, right? With the white hair. And the one eye patch, I think. Yeah, I think he has an eye patch. Yep, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Someone said something about, what time music do you think is today? Okay, so it's hard to describe it, but it's like a bunch of kids got isekai to it, and their teacher, alongside their school teacher, got isekai to some world. And, I guess they was trying to figure out how to get home, but they had to go through some dungeon. And one of the kids are a cunt, and I guess he liked a girl. I think the bully that put the dude in this position he was in liked the same girl as him or something. Or he didn't like that he was getting a lot of attention from that one girl that liked him. So he was, I think, betrayed by falling down like a pit. Because it was the cause of his classmate who did it on purpose. And he went through a lot of BS, and to the point that he had to eat the monsters in the pit, in the dark pit that he was in. And I guess eating the monsters caused him to have a metamorphosis or something. And it made his hair white and he gained powers, but it was disgusting and insane. And then it just became like this edgelord, like, harem type anime. There's not like any real like loot stuff. There's a bit of it, but it's not that much. It's not even like a story that's like all that mind blowing. It's kind of to the point. It's not nothing new. It just does its job. Let's just put it that way. It does its job. Yeah, it's one of those shows that could be better, but it's just kind of like it's genericism just overtakes the whole like premise. So it's like. Okay. Okay, I think we good now. I think she's ready. Wanna be saved. She wanna be saved. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her.
No role models, and I'm here right now. No role models to speak of. Searching through my memory, I couldn't find one. Last night I was getting my feet rubbed by the baddest bitch. Not Trina, but I swear to God, this bitch will make you call your girl up and tell her, hey, what's good? Sorry, I'm never coming home, I'ma stay for good. Then hang the phone up and proceed to lay the wood. I came fast like 911 in white neighborhoods. Ain't got no shame about it. She think I'm spoiled and I'm rich cause I can have any bitch. I got defensive and said, nah, I was the same without it. But then I thought back to a better me.
Hold on, guys. 1 sec. I'm sorry. I got quiet. I was just thinking. I'm gonna do this. She don't wanna be saved. She don't wanna be saved. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her.
I want a real love, dark skin and Aunt Viv love. That Jada in that weird love. That leave a toothbrush at your crib love. And you ain't gotta wonder whether that's your kid love. Nigga, I don't want no bitch from reality shows. Out of touch with reality hoes. Out in Hollywood bringing back 5 or 6 hoes. Fuck them, then we kick them to the door. Nigga, you know how it goes. She deserve that. She a bird, it's a bird trap. You think if I didn't rap,
what do you say? Because he wasn't a PDF. Oh, it could have been better because he wasn't a PDF. Oh, you mean the I hate when they like. I don't know why they've written that one character to keep calling him daddy and stuff. It was just the most strangest thing. I don't know, like that. That just felt so annoying. It's kind of like that thing with Sora Line with the UE girl that's AI keeps calling both we call it Kyoto and the other one mommy and daddy and stuff. It's just like, I'm like, bro, did you try? I did my training for the store yesterday. Let's go. Hey Laura, what's going on, hun? Wait, did I already do this? Hold on. Oh, I already did this. Shallow. She's shallow. Hello. She's shallow. She wanna be saved. Wanna be saved, no. Save her. She wanna be saved. Don't save her. She wanna be saved, no. Hold on. Okay, time to stop the music because I know YouTube's gonna get on my fucking nerves. All right, turn off the music there. But now, since we are here, you guys, I'm gonna have some stuff play in the background. Um, I'm doing well, just doing my thing. I hope you're doing well, keeping safe. It was the saying jobless reincarnation is bad. Who's the PDF? See, that's a weird thing for me. That's a weird one for me because how can I call him like I know he's like he has the mind of like what? He's 30 or something or 40 or something. But like what can you do? He's like he turned into a child. What more can he do? It's not like he can't like tell his parents he's a 30, 40-year-old man. They just look at him crazy. See, the reason why I think people consider him as a PDF because we know he was a 30-something-year-old who's in a different world. If you were to like, if I were to like be isekai'd into Earth right now, and I was a 30, 40-year-old man in the mind of a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, and I turned to my dad and said, "Dad, I'm 45." He's gonna laugh in your face and don't think you're insane. So it makes no sense to actually call him a PDF within the context of that. That's why I don't really see it that way, but I understand why you see it that way. I totally get why people see it that way because like he's isekai'd with a 40-year-old mind. I think he was 40 or 30-year-old mind. I get that. Yeah, because like think about it. Like if you have the maturity of a 30, 45-year-old man in the body of a 5-year-old and he can't say and then yeah, Mikey, let's go. And then like imagine like you're 5 and you turn to your 45 or no, your 29-year-old father when you're like 5 and say to Dad, I can't hang out with other children my age cuz I'm 35-year-old. I think it's a little unfair to do that to Rudius to a degree. You know what I'm saying? And remember, he only met like one other person that was isekai'd into the world he was in, but the difference is he was reincarnated into a child. The other one was not reincarnated. She was still the same age she was as she appeared there. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like think about it. It's not like he was isekai'd as a grown 40-year-old man trying to talk to like girls like you know what I'm saying? Like you got to put that in context. I think that's a little bit unfair to do because if you was in the same situation, you can't hang out with anyone then. Like if you're like 25, 20 something and you have the mind of like you grow up to like you have consciousness to have but what can he do though? Like there's nothing he can hold back on because if he holds back then that people are going to think he's weird. And then if he tries to explain I'm a dude from another world who has a 35-year-old world mind, they're going to look at you like what? They're going to think you're mentally insane. They're not going to take you serious. Then you make yourself even more of a problem because now they think you're crazy, and when you get to that age, now you're at that age considered crazy, and now also, you know what I'm saying? So Marin Ford, I don't know what that is. You gotta put that in context because remember the other person who was isekai too, she was isekai at. I think I would too. But remember, you have to, for you to get with wolf girls, elves, and goddesses, they have to see, you have to be exceptional to a degree, especially as a lonely human who knows how to use a little magic. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I can't even say that because Rudius' dad was good in, was a horn dog himself. He got with virtually every woman he came across, so I can't even make that a statement or that argument. And Rudius is not that far from his father anyway, so it's like he was a OG. He was an OG. Fucking you got even more mad lucky. He got with, what's her, Deanne? I think her name is Deanne. The wolf woman. I think she's a wolf. The wolf lady. And then he got with his wife, and he got with, I think, the old lady who doesn't age, kinda, the elf whore woman. I think I forgot her name. He virtually had sex with everyone. He had sex with with his help. Yeah, he had sex with the elf. He had sex with the wolf lady, the beastman lady. He had sex with his own, like, his help, who became his second, I wouldn't say wife, but he had a baby with in the same house. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, chill. Like, bro, why you get married? If you want to just screw around, don't get married. The maid, the help, yeah. I forgot her name. I forgot majority of their names. The only one I can remember is a few. Make that food, Lyra. Make that food. What was it, that video I had? It was this one.
And I'm a freelance illustrator. I'm also the director and instructor at a vocational school that trains digital illustrators.
Some anime, but like just to make something clear, I do understand why people look at Rudius in a specific way, but you have to put in context always. Like, you have to make context of what's happening in the content. That he died as a grown man into the body of a child. So for him to hold back because he's like 5, so you have to hold back yourself for the next, I guess, 30, 40 years just because you need to feel morally, like, in the moral right. Like, I think the worst thing to do is to be isekai'd with memories of your past life. I think that makes it difficult. I think that ultimately makes it difficult. You know what I'm saying? You know? But that puts something in perspective if you think of it this way. Like, okay. I'm gonna put something in perspective. So, like, you know how we sometimes call Rudius a PDF file because he has the mind of a adult. Well, remember, you gotta go by their no, but you have to put something. You gotta put something in check here. Yes, remember, their world standards and their cultures are way different from us Americans, because we can't apply. I know, I get it, but we're applying our Western American ideals onto a show and to a whole different universe of thinking, right? Like, where magic comes from and all that stuff, with different races of people and stuff. Like, their customs are going to be way different on how they look at things. Like right now, people don't really, well, certain people don't understand, like, I know I'm not gonna bring that up because it's gonna cause trouble. Let's just put it this way. You can't apply your Western ideals onto another country, even though you think it's wrong. Yeah, that was a thing back in the old days, you know? Like way in the old days, like 1700s. That was normal back then. Yeah, that was normal back then. Like, in medieval times, that was normal. Pretty normal. Yeah, I know, but like, we now frown upon it, but I'm saying that was normalized. Yeah, I know, but that's still, I understand, but like, that's, the point is that it's normalized to see it as wrong, but back then, that was normal, I'm saying. So you gotta put it in that context. So, like, let's just put it this way. Like, say you're Rudius, you wake up, you're 34 or something, whatever age you died at, you're a baby. You try to tell your parents, I'm a 35-year-old man in a boy's body. They're gonna look at you crazy and stuff like that. And then when you wait, that's different. That's different. That's completely different. Yeah, no, yeah, let's go. Get that W. But that's different. That is actually just a crime. See, that's a crime. what you described. What happened to Rudy is context and situational. Where Drake lives. You was mad at Celestial Dragons. I punched my wall. Wait, what episode are you on? I'm just curious. Oh, the end. Okay. Oh, you're talking. Oh, you're at that part. Okay. You're at the part where they did the time skip. The time skip thing. Okay. And you saw how the celestial dragons treat people. Yeah, they are ruthless weirdos. 1 point. 1 pot. 1 pot. 1 pot. Okay, that looks good. Oh, let me play the video. I'm sorry.
You can call me Party Pigeon. Day to Hello, my name is Kim Pigeon, and I'm a freelance
Kim
illustrator.
Pigeon.
I'm also the director and instructor at a vocational school that trains digital illustrators. You can call me Party Pigeon. Day to day, I hold regular live classes for my students, and I take on illustration projects or collaborative work whenever opportunities come my way.
When and why did you start using Pixiv?
That was a long time ago. Back then, I was really active in the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom. I think I joined just about every platform where fans could interact, and that included Pixiv. As I browsed the artworks people uploaded, especially all the different fan art, I started thinking, I want to be a part of this too. I want to share my drawings here. From then on, I started posting my own works.
What inspired you to choose illustration as your career? Was there a specific moment or experience that set you on this path?
In the beginning, when I was a student, drawing was just a hobby. Back then, I didn't have any concrete ambition to become a commercial artist or a professional illustrator.
Yeah, that was the same thing that happened to me. That same thing happened to me. I didn't have any plans of becoming an artist. It just kind of happened. Like as a career, I knew I could draw a little bit, but I didn't think it will be an option for me the way I'm doing it now.
I simply kept drawing because I loved it and found it fun. But then suddenly, I found myself in need of a job. That meant I needed to figure out a career path and choose a direction for myself. What I was lucky enough to discover then was the world of game development. Since I already loved games, I decided to join a training program for game creators. So, for the very first time,
Psychologist. I wanted to be a doctor. I think that was a better career, but when I realized the wokeism was bleeding into that, I said no. Because if I pursued my license as a psychologist, or psychiatric psychologist, I would have been probably fired. I would have lost my license a long time ago. So that's something I wanted to be. So, but that's why I saw wokeism being a real issue in the Western space, and I saw what they did. I'm glad I jumped at it, but I saw what they did to Jordan Lee Peterson, the way they took away his license. Because I would have told them I can't lie to my patients, and I have a real problem with lying because I don't like lying. and I can't lie to them. And I'm not going to adhere to those insane Marxist thinking of telling someone they're something when they're not, or they think they are. Therefore, I think that's in a very young age. It's not even like someone who's like in like an adult, like young age type stuff, and then you lose your license because you don't affirm them almost instantly with just simple 3 questions. Like, that's not good enough. I think that needs extensive psychiatric studying first, or at least time and development on someone who thinks they are something before you make that initial it is I just can't do it. So I said fuck no.
I joined a training program designed to learn development skills. And while studying, I realized I want to be a concept artist for games. From
We
that
all
point
do.
on, I set my sights on that path and devoted myself to learning.
Can you tell us
A firefighter? That's a new one, Mikey. Firefighter. Let's go. I can see you be like, oh, Mikey the firefighter. Let's go.
about your first professional job as an illustrator?
My very
That's
first
how
commercial
life
commission
goes.
came at a time when browser games were starting to get popular. Nowadays, most games are mobile or app-based, but back then, people played a lot of browser games on desktop. They were casual games you could play without downloading anything. Many companies were looking for cute, small-scale graphics, so I sent my portfolio to one of them, saying I'd love to work with you. And that led to my very first job. At the time, I was still enrolled in the training program I mentioned earlier. It was a completely new experience and difficult, too. That was when I realized how different it is to simply draw what you love versus creating something that meets another person's needs.
Because it sound cool, or you actually wanted to run the country? Because those are 2 different things.
Are there any habits or mindsets you think are important for anyone
I'm not gonna lie to you, the only thing than a stripper. What the fuck? I think the only thing why I would like to be president, the only reason I would want to be president is just to see Area 51. You want to be free? I don't know a job.
who is just
The only reason I want to be president is just to see if I can get to Area 51, see what they have.
starting out?
I think most professional illustrators would agree. It's important not to rush. And by rushing, I mean being impatient. When we start something new, it's easy to think, I want to get good quickly, or I want recognition right away, or even, I want to succeed fast. Whether it's cooking or playing music, you'll naturally want to perform beautifully right from the start. But the problem is, reality doesn't work that way. Growth comes with time, effort, and accumulated skill. Everything you do is built on the foundation you've already developed. If you get too impatient, you could accidentally set yourself up for failure or
Yep.
even burn yourself out. Drawing, for example, should really start with the joy of it. Those feelings of, this part is fun, or I really like doing this. By following that sense of enjoyment, you naturally create your own style. If you're lucky, others will appreciate it too, and it can even lead to opportunities to work with wonderful people. But if impatience takes over, you might end up asking yourself, why can't I get better faster? Or comparing yourself to others because they're better.
I mean, my ex-girlfriend went for that shit. She never finished it. I told her she was not going to finish it. I knew she was not going to finish that shit. She didn't listen, but she didn't finish it, so.
Or improving more quickly. That mindset only pulls you off course. That's why I believe it's so important to keep moving forward step by step, steadily, and with patience.
Do you have any advice for students who are aiming to become professional illustrators?
I've already spoken at length about mindset, but if I were to give some advice, I'd say the most important thing is to not isolate yourself. And by isolation, I don't just mean physically. I am also talking about the mental isolation people impose on themselves. Drawing can be a very lonely and boring task when done entirely alone. Many students start out with mindsets like, if I just work harder, it'll work out. Or, it's no use because I don't have enough talent. And gradually, they end up isolating themselves in various ways. As that progresses, they become very hard on themselves, slipping into self-deprecation, and I know many friends who suffer a great deal of stress and pain because of it. But in the end, art is something we create by drawing inspiration from our lived experiences, our environment, and things around us. And that's why I believe the presence of others is absolutely essential, whether it's friends, family, or new people you meet. That doesn't mean losing yourself in dependency on others, but rather holding on to your own sense of self while exploring new experiences and interests. You might discover you don't exclusively love only drawing. You might enjoy this hobby or that one as well. So my advice is, don't suffer alone.
Lastly, do you have a message for your fans and viewers?
I may have rambled a little and gone off on tangents here and there, but I hope you enjoyed listening to this interview. To everyone out there who draws, what I always say is, please keep drawing in a way that's fun and enjoyable to you. Draw what you love and keep at it. Hi, I'm Pari Pigeon. Stop by my Pixiv page anytime.
This will actually answer why I love you say, why don't you do rigging more often? Or like, VTubing modeling is such a tedious task. It's so tedious. It is so much work. It's such a pain in the ass. Alright, let's see what's next on the agenda. It seems fun, but when you get into it, it is extremely boring. That's why I like doing sometimes just illustrations real fast.
That is the question. Sorry, I really cannot think of a good intro. Hi, my name is Hina and these are my artworks. I actually get some questions pretty often. Hina, how do you color? How do I render like you? Hina, how many souls did you sacrifice to do the shading? About 69 souls. I don't keep any secrets on my ass sleeves, so let me break down and show you how I personally color and render. For the sake of this video, I am going to use a few different pieces of my artworks to better demonstrate each part. Disclaimer: I learned digital art via Google search as a kid, so I am not professionally trained and the advice I give may not be 100% accurate. Also, I would not go through backgrounds, as the focus of today will be the character instead. There's 4 main steps to coloring: silhouette, base colors, hard shadows, recoloring, and rendering. With that said, let's start with the first quick step, silhouette, which is the base coloring in gray. There's a few quick ways besides just using the fill tool, since it's more than likely you will leave some gaps in between lines or have used textured lineup brushes. The first one is using the selection tool, aka the magic wand, selecting the background and then inverting to selection. This makes it so that the area you're selecting is anything but the background, and then you can just color the whole thing in. I would recommend this method if your lines are a bit blurry, half transparent, or textured like graphite. The second one requires a bit of hard work, but I still suggest it regardless. That being the lasso fill tool. It's straightforward, just lasso any area you need to be colored and then it will fill in. Alternatively, you can also simply fill in the gaps and color normally. That's completely up to you. After getting the gray base color, I would recommend hiding the sketch or line art layer so you can have a better view of the silhouette, helping you identify if it's too empty, too full, or if you think that adding anything would help with visual guidance and emphasize the subject.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I was like wondering where that was.
Coloring. Just toggle on Alpha Lock, then either use the pen tool, lasso fill, airbrush, or selection tool to fill in the desired color for each of the parts. Pretty straightforward. I also recommend replacing the gray with skin color first, then color the hair with a semi-transparent brush so that the end of hair strands can also have the skin color gradients. Remember to zoom in and check if there's any holes and gaps that you have left behind and fill them in as well. For most other art styles, as far as I'm concerned, you can just ignore what I'm about to say since it's just my style. When you fill in the base colors, a good reminder is to keep the colors relatively light and close to the skin color's hue so that it looks more coherent. Line. How do we achieve this? There's actually a simple trick to get this. Select the multiply layer's opacity, invert the selection, make a new layer, and fill it in with an orange-red color. Then, enable Gaussian blur. Select the multiply layer's opacity again, invert it.
Okay, I think there's a problem with that particular explanation, and I think this is where videos like this gets lost in the sauce. Okay, when she said something around the lines of this.
Source. Use an eraser tool and erase the parts where there is light. Now, please understand that I am not a professional artist as of now, so there might be a lot of lighting mistakes in my artwork. Just ignore those parts. After erasing the lights, there should be bluish shadows, or whatever color your shading is.
There. That's right there. That right there is where the video stops. Or at least where the confusion starts. Because when you say things like that, like, once you do that, once you start saying whatever color that is, like, no, dude, you're trying to help me. You're trying to hold my hand. When you make it that optional type thing, then they're going to become confused at that point where they're going to be like, okay, should it be blue? Or I use a purple or red-ish or greenish color, like how I know. Yeah, I'm saying, like, that's going to cause issues right there. You should explain why it should be blue or why it is blue. So they don't get confused. So they're like, okay, I have a little more context what that blue shadow means. Because they're trying to learn how to shade, right? This is why some of you may ask, why haven't you posted the compositional video? Because I'm studying on how to explain that in a way that makes it easy. So there's the point of a tutorial is to make less questions than make more. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm doing a tutorial and it's answering 10 questions, or at least a 10 question type thing, hopefully it answers the full, like, 10, right? It shouldn't be me making a tutorial and I'm trying to answer the 10 questions. 2 of them gets answered, but now there's like 5 other questions that gets added to that because the way I explained that. You know what I'm saying? To the ones that not only was not answered correctly, but now there's new questions upon that because of the way you explained that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where this issue comes in. So I try to make a tutorial. When making tutorials, I try to make it as straightforward as possible. So there's no, I want to say it's the right way of things. I'm just saying there's a point A and a point B, not a point A and then this weird detour that you can kind of take. But I'm telling you how the color, but you're questioning yourself, like, if I take the detour that you say I can take, will I end up in the situation you in? Most likely not, especially if I don't know what I'm doing. So when they say things like whatever color your shading is, no, dude, make it simple. Number 1, we're going to start with a red color or a red shade. And the reason why I'm going to use this is because there are warm shadows and there are cold light and all that stuff. And I'll explain what those things are so the whole enchilada is there. When you say and just instruct and we're doing the thing, but I don't know why I'm doing the thing, that's more problematic than me actually knowing what I'm doing. It's like I'm telling you to get to point A and point B, but you don't know why you're getting to point A and point B. So when I'm not here, if something comes up within point A and point B you didn't see before, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to be like, oh no, I don't know where I'm at. I'm going to be more lost. You know what I'm saying? Because I was lost before when we first started, and then you just instruct me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't know why I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I doing it this way? And if I'm doing it this way, if I were to do it the other way, why would I do it the other way? Or why would I would refuse to go the other way if possible? You know what I'm saying? Or will I run into an obstacle that may not be in the tutorial? If that does happen, at least address that's a thing. But when you say things like this, it causes a situation where now I don't know if I'm doing it right. Because now once you say it like that, I'm kind of like, Am I in the right boat or am I in the wrong boat? That's where the confusion comes in. That's why when I make my tutorials, I try to make it as straightforward as possible.
And the lip parts. In between the light and dark, there would be a more saturated line. How do we achieve this? There's actually a simple trick to get this. Select the multiply layer's opacity, invert the selection, make a new layer, and fill it in with an orange-red color. Then, enable Gaussian blur. Select the multiply layer's opacity again, invert it, erase the orange-red layer, set the mixing option to overlay. Ta-da! Quick and easy trick to get this effect. Last major step, recoloring and rendering. Before moving on to the rendering stage, I would just recolor, which is lighting up, saturating the subject first. This step is very simple. Just create a layer, set the mixing option to, again, overlay, and then use an airbrush to spray the corresponding color on where it has to be lit up. Now on to rendering. At this stage, I will combine everything including the sketch to one layer and alpha lock it. Trust me, this will save you so much time rather than having 100 layers once you start to get familiar with rendering. From how I see it, rendering is kind of like the process of making the drawing look more 3D and refining the details. I will explain how I do it in the comment section. Hair is undeniably one of the first things you would notice, and is also what provides a distinctive silhouette in the character artwork. So instead of leaving it like this, I will weave in some color blocks and blend it in slightly in where the shaded area of the hair is, especially near the light and dark intersection. I will go with a color which relates to or is similar to the background tone, like how I use purple in here when the background is blue, which is, well, similar to purple. In this Saridra or Zarajra artwork, I use the saturated turquoise color since it's similar to the background and is also her secondary hair color. Of course, it depends on different scenarios. For this OC of mine, and yes, I am from Hong Kong, her hair color is already so saturated that doing this would not bring much of an effect and only make it eye-straining. So what did I do? Take this and reverse it, desaturating the shaded parts. So you see, it's not just one rule, one guide, but just how I, emphasis on usually, do it. This process makes it such that the hair shading wouldn't be as plain, clear-cut, and boring, while it also wouldn't be too blended together, giving it a blocky texture when what you did was essentially just adding in colored blocks. Apart from the light-dark intersection area, I will also weave in some colored blocks in the shaded area, just to make it have a larger variety and be less boring. In the lit area, I will weave in some bright or skin hue colored blocks, as well as some small dots of another color to decorate it just a little bit. If you would like something similar to my style, then keep it blocky. Don't overblend it. That would just make the canvas look muddy. Oh right, ever see those
But what does overblending look like? When you're saying overblend, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? You have to give an example what overblending looks like. At least they have an idea. When you say don't overblend, most of these people don't know what overblending is, much less blending. So you need to give an example or some cases of examples of what overblending looks like so they know what to look for and have an intuitive understanding what that is. But when you say don't overblend, they don't know what that means. They need, most artists are visual creatures most cases. Some can go by verbal. That's not like that's not a thing. But then again, it's best to have at least an example. That's all.
Art videos when they say things like, oh, the brush doesn't matter, it's just if you're a good enough artist or not. When someone asks for a brush name, in my personal opinion, I have to disagree with this claim, since I believe the brush does matter. Yes, there are a lot of artists that just use the basic G-Pen for everything, but there also are artists that use different brushes. If you're at the stage where you're quite proficient with the lines and general shading, then brushes are a huge asset to the shading process, extending to your art style. For instance, I use squarish and triangular brushes for my artworks. I might make this topic another video in the future, just let me know if you would be interested. Now, why did I explain hair first? That's because what I just mentioned quite literally could apply to other parts as well. As you can see, I also applied saturated secondary color blocks in shaded parts of the clothes. Once you've got the hang of it, you can apply it to the whole subject. There's actually one thing I haven't noted yet. which is how I would render if the base color is white. In that case, either make the base color darker where the ambient is dim, or use a variety of colors as the color blocks, just so you wouldn't end up with a pure, boring white. The skin is a little different, but essentially the same. Just replace a variety of colors with skin hues and their respective saturated colors, and the result will be similar. Regarding the eyes, I actually have a tutorial of it on my Instagram, so I won't go in depth on how I draw it, but it's also just the same rule. Adding saturated colors in intersection points. If it's too plain, give it a little magic. I might explain it again in the future, but of course, in a separate video. Again, just let me know what you think. Last step. I promise it will for real be the last step this time. Is to optionally use saturated colors to re-ink some of the line art, just to sprinkle a little more magic and dust in it. And yeah, that's about it. In the end, it's just really lots of practice. But aside from practice, you've also got to study about different artworks from your favorite artists as well, and think about how they might have done it, and even better, study their time-lapse if they have one, try to follow their steps. Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes improvement. Alright, I lied when I said that was the last step. The real last step is to subscribe.
This has been a very...
When I draw hair, the way I draw hair is like, I don't try to like visualize the hair. I just kind of go with the flow of the movement of the direction it's supposed to go. That's it. That's it. I don't try to make it look like hair. I kind of just draw it in the direction I want to blow. And the movement of the character. And the movement of the character. And then I'll just work from there. Let me see here.
Hey.
I'm not really feeling like watching Asmongold.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Struggling on making your drawings move? Want to animate but just don't know where to start? Well, don't you worry, friend. Usually this type of info would cost you a bajillion dollars, but lucky for you, today, and only today, it's free! So let's get started. Hello, my name is Omnific, or Omni for short. I enjoy creating art and animation for fun. I am no means of a professional, however, the information that I will be sharing with you today are things I learned and studied through my art journey, and hopefully it'll help you with yours. I will be using Clip Studio Paint EX to animate due to it having a timeline that is good for managing layers like the animation folders, and it also has some great brushes that are customizable to make them look more traditional, which I very much like. Okay, so in the world of animation, we have what's called the 12 principles of animation, which are essentially the foundation or guidelines of what makes a drawing come to life. These principles include spacing and timing, slow in and slow out, anticipation and overshoot, squash and stretch, arcs, pose to pose and straight ahead, follow through and overlapping action, secondary action, exaggeration, staging, solid drawings, and appeal. However, I will be going over a selective few that I think are the most important to help you just get started, with some bonus tips included. Timing is more focused on how long a drawing will last on screen, and spacing is more focused on where the drawings are being placed. Let's talk about timing first. You might have heard the term 12 FPS and 24 FPS in animation, meaning how many frames will be in a second. Having more frames like 24 FPS can create smoother-like animations, but take longer, while 12 FPS...
Alright bro, do your thing. Stay safe.
can be slightly more choppy. Which is not a bad thing, mind you. It can get the job done while also cutting half the work and time. It ultimately depends on the artist's preference or the project, with some working better in 24 FPS and others in 12 FPS. Now, let me go a little more in detail in how it works. So, if I'm working in 12 FPS, it would look like this, with the little bars representing the frames. Now, if I drew a ball here, point A being the start and point B being the end, it would take 12 frames or 1 second for it to travel. But now, let's try to fill each frame with the ball, still taking 1 second from point A to point B. But now it looks like this. It's moving across. Drawing on all the frames like this is called drawing on ones. This one is called drawing on twos because the drawings will last for 2 frames, and this one, drawing on threes, will last for 3 frames. The drawings stay on screen for different times, but they all still last for 1 second. It's pretty common for 24 FPS to be on twos and 12 FPS to be on ones, although it's up to the animators to decide when to use ones, twos, and threes, usually influenced by weight and movement in their desired animation. Ones are usually used for fast action, twos and threes are usually used for normal paced animation. You're also not limited to sticking to one specifically. Your animation can vary and have all ones, twos, and threes combined in a single animation. You just gotta know when to use them. Now, for spacing, as the name suggests, it's about spacing your drawings. Back to the ball moving across, it's animated on twos here, but looks stiff or mechanical. But let's try to spread the spacing apart in between each drawing, but still holding for 2 frames. Now it looks more natural or fluid, and we still have the same number of drawings and time. Something to remember as well, the closer the drawings are together, the slower it appears. The farther apart, and the faster it looks. Playing with spacing is the same as playing with speed. Spacing your drawings close together before starting your main action is called ease in, or speeding up, and after your action is called ease out, or slowing down. It's natural for an object to gain speed or momentum and slow down before making its full stop. Here are a few examples of using slow in and slow out. Here's a bonus tip. If you're using an animation software like I am and want to see your previous drawing or your future drawing that you've already made, you can turn on onion skin. If you are working traditionally, you can flip the papers back and forth too. Onion skin can be helpful to determine or visualize how a pose needs to be in between drawings, helping to keep that consistency. However, don't rely on them too much, as your main focus should be if the drawing feels right or is moving correctly. So just keep an eye on the spacing. Now let's focus on anticipation and overshoot. Let's say our character here wants to jump across this gap. You have a stationary pose, the action pose, and another stationary pose at the end of their jump. If we try to animate them jumping, adding drawings in between these 3 poses, the result would make it really awkward or stiff. So let's add an anticipation pose where they go down to build up tension like a spring, legs bent and arms raised, helping viewers anticipate his next action. Then they'll release that tension with the jump, and when they land, we will add an overshoot pose. Meaning the character is still in motion after landing, going past the stationary frame, giving that extra weight. Now it should look more natural. Here are some examples where this is being used.
I know about Ethan Becker. Is it Ethan Baker or Becker? Is it Ethan Becker?
Finally, squash and stretch. If we have a bouncing ball, it usually squashes towards the bottom due to weight, and stretches when going fast back up. Bear in mind that the ball does not change in volume or shape when doing so. What do I mean by this? Well, when you squish this little guy, his weight is distributed evenly outwards.
Or is it Ethan?
And when you stretch him, his weight is distributed evenly inwards. Doing squash or stretch to objects or characters make them feel more organic, or the illusion of different materials. I could have a basketball on this side and a rubber ball on the other side. You can tell which object is more influenced by squash and stretch. Squash and stretch can also be seen a lot for storytime animators here on YouTube, where they use it as a way to convey motion when speaking. Kind of like what I'm doing already, squishing their characters and stretching when changing expressions. In animation, the more you can exaggerate the gesture, the better on how lively it will look. Here's a bonus tip. When animating, keep in mind of arcs. Simply, arcs are curved paths. Almost every movement has some sort of arc it follows, helping to make motion flow better and look more natural or organic. If you create an animation that follows a linear path, more than likely it will be something mechanical like a car or robot. Think on the path that your hand follows when reaching your pencil or picking up a book, creating slight arcs. Alright, now that we know the bare basics of animation, we can make something. Usually, you want to start your animation like building a house. You create a blueprint of steps and build from that foundation. First, you'll want to make a storyboard. The first step is probably the easiest since all you gotta do is just draw your ideas down. This is done by making really rough thumbnails, and while some artists may want to make them detailed, I highly recommend keeping them very simple and rough. Sometimes these ideas can change and time in animation is valuable. And don't forget to create mood boards to help visualize what you want and start collecting references. Next is making an animatic. The difference between storyboard and animatic is that storyboard is a set of drawings like a comic, and an animatic is when you gather those sets of drawings and put them together in a video. Essentially, animatics are still very rough and are usually used to time your scenes. For example, if you have audio or music in your animation, you'll want to create an animatic to be in sync with that. Animatics are used to help suggest what is happening in your animation, again, being a blueprint for the next step. Next up, we've got rough animations. In my opinion, is probably the most vital step when it comes to building our animation. Here, we're going to focus on creating keyframes. Keyframes are the most important poses that define our actions, your storytelling poses. If I have a figure here standing and then I have them jump, these two poses are considered key poses because I understand the main action of the figure. When animators focus on drawing only keyframes, that is called pose to pose. Usually used on animating characters, it helps to visualize or map out where the animation will go. While if you draw from one frame and then draw the next frame for that, and so forth, that is called straight ahead. These are used when animating things like smoke or fire, typically 2D FX effects, objects that are organic or difficult to predict its movements. But for now, I will be focusing on creating pose-to-pose keyframes for this demonstration. Unlike the animatic, I want to try to get as close as possible to the characters, trying to keep proportions consistent and keeping in mind to draw those key poses that will define my action. Personally, I like to turn the characters into basic shapes because it's easier for me to understand, and the main thing I want to concentrate on is getting the movements right. A side note, that my method works for me while other animators with good observation skills can draw their characters a lot more detailed when it comes to keyframes. It really depends on your preferred workflow. Also, it's great to keep a ref sheet of the character you'll be animating. A lot of times the ref sheet has specific angles already drawn, and it's good to look back on. Next, while still in the rough animation stage, we will focus on adding our extremes. Extremes are what we already went over. Either anticipation, overshoot, squash and stretch, basically poses that change in direction. Sometimes extremes can be exaggerated, like if you're adding an anticipation, or it can be subtle, like a slight overshoot. When adding extremes, remember to play back your animation often so you can see if the movements feel right to you. After adding my extremes, now we have breakdowns. Again, still working on our rough animation stage, breakdowns are poses that help transition to the next pose, usually to give extra information or personality. When adding them, keep in mind of your spacing. Not all breakdowns are dead center or in the middle of your pose if you are using onion skin. Remember your spacing and where that breakdown should be placed. Sometimes it will favor one frame to be closer, or sometimes your animation will have multiple breakdowns in order to convey more emotions. Then we have in between frames. These are drawings made in between your frames to smooth out your animation, unifying it all together. After that, you should have a completed rough animation. Our next step is to do tie downs. Still rough, but we're going to focus on getting cleaner lines.
Yes.
Sometimes it's also called a rough pass, but it's just about adding details like clothing or accessories. First, you'll want to go over your frames and refine the lines a bit more. Then, a way to add other details to your rough animation is the same way in how you initially built your rough animation. First on keyframes, then on your extremes, then your breakdowns, and finally your in-betweens. Personally, I like to create a second layer where I am focusing on drawing the clothes or accessories, because sometimes they will have their own separate space and timing animation. Then we have the cleanup stage, which in my opinion is the most tedious and time-consuming part of animation. There's not much to say about it other than you go frame by frame and start creating the line art. It's definitely my least favorite part of doing the animation process. Finally, I can add colors. This is also pretty straightforward, just go frame by frame and fill in the colors for each section with the paint bucket tool. Some advice, however, when you're doing the line art for the cleanup stage, make sure all your lines are closed off or completed. If you have any opening gaps, you'll have to close them off in order to use the paint bucket tool. And there you have it, we made an animation. Hopefully you got some good stuff from this video and found it entertaining, informative, or both. I tried my best to simplify some of the animation terms because that's the best way for me to understand. Again, the program I used to create this animation was Clip Studio Paint EX, which is available on multiple devices like PC, tablet, smartphone, and also has a free trial, so that's pretty neat. So yeah, thank you for watching and supporting my content throughout these years. Hopefully this gets you started on your animation journey and inspires you to make some animation. I look forward to seeing it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all again in the next one. Until then, take care and be kind.
Hello. Hello. Alright, oh my god, I was... Okay. Oh, that... Okay. Okay. 1 second. Oh yeah, what did you send me? It was on Instagram, right? No, you're not interrupting. I'm fine. I see what you're doing. I feel like it was too stretched out, both the fingers and thumb. Okay. Alright, I think my best way to with burn is to not obsess on your, yeah, you never obsess with the progress. Just like, I think everyone's sole purpose, no matter what it is focused not only on progress, because I don't think about improving in a sense of when I'm studying or something. I always say it's gonna come. The day will always come, no matter how many times you try it. Once you put the initial work in every single day, you don't have to look at progress. You know you're progressing. And I think the most misleading thing when it comes to improving is when you notice a plateau. When you hit a plateau or a certain ceiling where you think you can't get any more, you can. You just need to really bear force through that. That's just all that is. But you have to do it creatively smart though. So, I am a bit obsessed with progress. But you're right. I should get one drawing and Okay, it's kind of like I like a way I measure my last time. Like damn, I didn't know for a month I should be drawing forces or something right now, but I get what you're saying. Okay, I don't think you should feel any way about it because remember, it's just well, I will do make the method for the first time. Okay. As long as the lessons are helping, that's all that matters, I guess. But yeah, I got you. Thank you about that note, Bob. No, you're good. You're doing what you're doing what your money's buying, so I'll thank you. But you are improving though. Very fast. Wait, what? Oh, wait, cough. Something's missing. It's the hair. Something with the hair. Okay. Wish I can call it like that, to be honest. You can tell a lot about artists the way they paint. Really what? No, you don't have to tell me. I was just wondering why you said whatever you said earlier. I thought something was wrong with it. Like I missed something. What up? That's good. Welcome back. Yes. I did. We can put it in the. You can post it in the on the Discord. I think we have a section for that. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Good. That'll help in the long run. Wow, they only used the 2 same songs over again? God damn. Talk about staying copyright free. They used the same 2 fucking songs over and over again. Wait. I didn't go to bed. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold on. I might take an hour and take one nap of an hour and come back and we play the game. Leaving right now, but yeah, so when I get back, we're gonna play a new game that TikTok wants me to play. It's called Blue Protocol. Kind of fighting it. I really need to get around to it. I'm so tired. I'm fighting. I thought I was able to go through it till 12, but I don't think I can. Can't right now. I figure out where the ears are. Where are the ears, bro? Just kidding. Where is the ears? I hope I didn't delete that. I'm gonna be so angry if I did. I know it's in here. Okay, that's it. There it is. Oh my god, bro. I could not find you. That's why I hate doing this shit. This is why it's very important to label all the drawings. When doing a VTubing model, you must label every fucking thing, because this can get insane. Almost instantly, you're gonna regret everything. You will want to blow your whole load out. Because it makes money. A lot more money than freelance work. A VTubing model can cost $10,000. Depending on who's being made for, custom made and all that stuff. Okay. I'm gonna... Okay, so the ears are like this, right? So, what I need to do... Okay, so... Okay, what do I put? You can make a living just making VTubing models. It pays very well. Especially if you have a clientele. The more your reputation goes up, the more money you'll make. Especially if you have a following, which I already have. Thank you, hon. Thank you, hon. Thank you. How far is this? This is now done. Okay, it's got a good 4 minutes left, and then once this video's done, we'll be in 4 minutes. No, it does not cost money to make one. You can literally start with literal zero. Some video, some girl doing rendering and stuff. It's also a tutorial, but since she just used text to explain, it was futile at that point. The music was cute enough to play in the background, but I realized she played like the last only 3 songs. I was like, why would you do this? But then again, they're probably copyright free. That's probably like, it don't cost you a thing. You can start literally at 0. It does not cost you money to make a VTuber model. Anyone can make a VTuber model. It's just a very tedious task. It's not hard to do, it's just tedious. Hello. You can make just one rig of a VTuber model can be $10,000 or more. I hear music like this, all I'm thinking it sounds like Fantasy Star. I'm making a VTuber model. I don't remember. I think a week. I think a week. It's such a while ago. I don't remember.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Nope, no, you're good. Alright, hold on. Put these 2 in here. And then take a yellow and just why does it bleed through? What the hell? That shit is closed. What the hell? I hate that. Why does it do that? Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, so. Okay. So I'm gonna take this. Let me erase this part. Nice and clean. Alright. Alright, let's see how that looks so far. Okay, go to TikTok. I wish I can just type in the name and then I can get what I want. That would make things easy. Okay, there it is. I think. Yeah. Alright. Wait, what the? Am I missing something? Back hair fell. Those need to be fixed. Hello. Alright, now, the only thing... Wait, where is it? Like, keep losing stuff. There, wait, there it is. There it is. There we go. There we go. Why does it look like that? Why does it look weird? What is this giant? Oh! Okay, okay, okay. I try to... I gotta go anyway, but, I use more muted colors. I think it's best to use more muted colors. More darker colors than it is to use, lighter colors, because it looks too damn saturated, it looks too bright, and it looks weird. Pretty good. Pretty close. We're pretty close on that save. Alright, so I'll be back in like an hour and a half. I'll get on back, but we'll be playing video games. We'll be playing like, we'll be playing Blue Protocol. So when I get back on around like 1 or probably like 12, 1, latest 2, we'll be playing Blue Protocol because we have to play it for the TikTok event. I don't think I'll be playing on the other... No. I might play on the other platforms, we'll see. But I'll be right back. I just need to take a nap because if I keep going, I'm going to clock out on stream. So, have a great night. Oh, not a great night. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. So, I'll see you in a little bit. I'll be right back. There you guys.